People often ask me, why do I advocate for mental health? Depending on the time, the place, and the person, I usually land on the lines of, it's complicated. It's complicated is comfortable. It is quick, it is easy, and it is accepted by the majority of those who ask. They respond with a nervous laugh, coupled with a bit of an eye roll, smile, and move on with their day. But for me, saying it's complicated leaves me feeling empty and hollow. It's complicated just invalidated my entire life's experience, my entire reasoning behind why I do what I do. I have dismissed my achievements, my dreams, my passions, and my past traumas because I believe that despite someone asking me this question, why do I advocate for mental health, that they really don't want to hear my story. I challenge you today, as you hear from these amazing, courageous, and inspiring teens, to ask yourself, why do you do the things you do? What experiences have you gone through in life that have brought you to this moment today? What is your why? I sure as hell can tell you that there's a lot more to your story than just a hollow and empty, it's complicated. So, why do I advocate for mental health? Why has the majority of my high school and college career become so dedicated to eradicating the stigma of mental illness through storytelling and education? Why do I emphasize so loudly that suicide is the second leading cause of death among 10 to 24-year-olds? That just here in Florida, we have a 750 to 1 ratio of population to mental health providers. Why do I speak on behalf of the 46,000 plus children here in Southwest Florida who are in need of mental health care? I speak because I have been there. My passion comes from my pain, and I believe that all of us have the ability to turn this pain of ours into power. As I stand here before you today, the little girl inside of me is shaking with fear. She is scared, she is timid, and a piece of her still wants to stand here and mumble, it's complicated. She wants to hide away in the shadows because that was what she was always taught to do. She still believes that her voice is not powerful enough, that her story is not worthy enough, and that all that she's gone through was never that bad. But this little girl has one hell of a story, and it began when she was just 3 years old. 3 years old, I'm so confused, and I am so scared. I'm scared of the bad guys, the ones who will come and hurt me when I'm alone. I'm scared of the dark. I'm scared of swimming lessons. I'm scared of the mean lady at daycare. I have nightmares like a broken record, and my screams wake me up each night. I was abused and drugged in my daycare facility. And at such a young age, I didn't and still can't fully process all that happened there. At 6 years old, I'm the classroom leader. I'm loud, I'm a bit dramatic, a little too confident, and maybe even a little mean. But back at home, I feel like I have no control. My mom is sick with cancer, and I don't even know what that means. All I know is that her hair is gone and that she can't always do the things that she used to do for me. I'm 11 years old, and you would think that the school bus was set on fire based on my fear of riding it. I stood at the end of the driveway waiting for the bus to arrive, hurled over in pain from my stomach being turned into knots. Kids at school were mean, and the fear of facing them landed me in a psychiatrist's office, being diagnosed with this thing called anxiety. I'm 12 years old, and things haven't gotten much better. My anxiety is only increasing. I'm not the same loud and obnoxious kid in school anymore. The pounding in my chest and beet red face every time I have to raise my hand makes me very quiet. I'm also really sad and find myself looking forward to bed so I can cry myself to sleep. I've seen kids self harm and soon discover that it really does help release some of the built up pain I hold inside. But soon it's not enough, and I turn to suicide. But I survived. I made it to 13. I understand the hard way that suicide is never an option. I feel like I am surviving just for the sake of others. Then my mom is diagnosed with cancer again. I am so angry, but really I am just so scared. I start counting objects, flashing my bedroom light 35 times, turning my pen sideways, and changing the music volume in the car obsessively as a way to combat the fears of my loved ones dying. I am diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder and depression. This little girl fought like hell through almost every milestone in her life. At 8 years old, she hated her body. She thought she was so fat. At 14, she missed 89 class periods after being diagnosed with epilepsy and seizing before school. And at 18, she had to take a 3-month leave of absence from school to attend a treatment facility after being emotionally abused by the person she looked up to the most. Why do you advocate for mental health? It's complicated. We are here today to advocate for today's generation of children struggling with mental illness. We are taking a stand on the issues behind the stigma that has created so many barriers to proper resources and care for young people suffering. But at the same time that we advocate for the 46,000 plus children here in Southwest Florida and the hundreds of thousands more all across the country, we are also here to advocate for ourselves. Because within every single one of you here today, there is a younger version of ourselves watching. There is a younger version of us whose story deserves so much more than it's complicated. There is a younger version of us who needs comfort and love, and all too often we believe that we've outgrown these phases, that the problems of the past are just that, the past. But here's the thing. Our brains may have shoved these hardships deep down into the forgotten land of repressed memories, but our bodies never forget trauma. They cannot forget trauma. I am a mental health advocate because I can stand here today owning my story. I can stand here and share that I have lived with anxiety, depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, suicidal ideation, and post traumatic stress disorder. I have lived through the good parts, the bad parts, and all of the moments in between. I can stand here today and say that while I have overcome so much in such a short amount of time, that I am still healing. I'm still a bit broken from the things that happened to me at such a young age. I'm here to tell you that healing sucks. But if healing were easy, either you haven't experienced the growth that comes from overcoming pain, or you aren't really healing. I have been in therapy since I was 15 years old. I am 21 years old now, turning 22 tomorrow, and I'm only just beginning to heal my 3, 6, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 18-year-old self. I'm only just beginning to understand that the core beliefs of feeling unworthy of love and respect as a toddler have had a direct influence on how I think, feel, and act today. We are all advocates in one way or another. All of us have persevered through some degree of adversity. If anything, this pandemic has shown us just how much we are all capable of overcoming. We have had to strap up and hold on tight on a roller coaster of unpredictability for nearly 2 years now. 2 years. And many of us have been on this roller coaster for much longer than that. So now I ask you again, why do you do the things you do? What in your life, in your childhood, in your challenges, in your pain, your trauma, your successes, your dreams, what has happened to you that has gotten you here? The children of today need us to support them. They need us to spread far and wide the statistics behind the issue of mental health in our society. They need us to share loudly that since fall of 2020, there has been a 66% increase in youth being placed under the Baker Act law. They need us to find the courage to step up and say enough to the stigma. No child should have to live through abuse. No child should have to grow up feeling neglected. No child should be afraid to go to school because kids are bullying them. No child should grow up feeling worthless and unlovable. Let's all take a stand and show up for ourselves first. Be the person we needed when we were younger. Embrace your inner child and shower them with the love and support you needed at the time. Then and only then will we really help in making a positive impact. Why do I advocate for mental health? It's not complicated. This is my story. This is my purpose. This is my passion. I have found beauty in rising above my pain while also welcoming it in with open arms. I have found validation, love, and support for myself and others in this world who are suffering from mental illness. Your story is not complicated. It is yours and only yours. And I hope you know that when you're ready, the world needs to hear it. The world needs your stories, your experiences, your dreams, your passions, and even your traumas. Because for everything you've gone through, there is someone else out there who understands all too well what you've been through. To the teens speaking here today, I want you to know that we see you. We hear you and we applaud you for taking that leap of courage to say, my story is not complicated. It is mine. It is beautiful, raw, and real. I don't think you fully know just how much of an impact you're going to have on people watching today. And to all of the teens out there who may be struggling, know that one day not too long ago, I was where you were. Of course, I cannot fully understand all that you have gone through as I have not walked in your shoes. What I do know is that you have had to live through so much in your lifetime, and yet look where you are today. You are here, you are present, you are showing up for yourself time and time again. If all you do today is wake up, I am proud of you. I'm proud of you for continuing to fight through the hardest days because the world needs you here. The world needs your story, your passions, your dreams. The world needs your input because you have some incredible ideas and contributions. Your voice matters. You are worthy. And if nobody told you this today, know that you are so loved. Our stories are not complicated. I will say this over and over again until it fully sinks in. Own your story. Know that healing is never easy and that it is okay to ask for help. Remember to acknowledge that inner child inside of you. Embrace them with all the love they might not have received. Find the purpose and beauty in your pain. Use this pain to take back the power and shine a light on those who may also be struggling. We are all capable of creating change. We all have the power to stand up and say, this is me. This is why I do what I do. It's not that complicated. Thank you.